Proteus is a rather strange little toy. It's not a real game. That is, it has a beginning and it does have an end point, but it has no monsters. I mean, it has creatures that react to your presence, usually by hopping or jumping or flying or diving away. But combat is non-existent. So are things, well, you don't even have an activate button. You don't activate anything. The only button you have apart from movement buttons is a sit down and enjoy the scenery button. There's also another button that allows you to snatch a postcard, but I've never tried that yet and I'm not quite sure if I should bother. As you can see, the graphics are deceptively crude looking, but look, examine them closer and you start to realize that it's actually a bit more sophisticated than that. The low polypixely flat color graphics, I think, are deliberate, because it's not the images that is interesting. If I hadn't been babbling through a live microphone with doors slamming and so forth in the background, you could have heard the soundscape that Proteus produces as you walk around. There's wind whistling dramatically as you traverse mountains. The forests are musical. Even the creatures have delightful sound effects as they hop and jump and scuttle away, or just rattle around doing whatever it is they're doing. There's one that sounds like splashing water, I don't know why. Oh look, meteors. But in any case, you start in spring, then traverse into summer, and thus into autumn through these standing stones. Basically, when you start seeing particles swirling around the standing stones in the dead of night, you know it's your opportunity to move the clock forward. And when you think about it, it's almost just a meditation on the finite nature of life and death, almost. There's a house on the island. There's always a house on the island that sounds vaguely sad when you get close to it. And also, winter is the end, and you're going to see that as we get closer to the stone circle in autumn. Each season has its own particular soundscape and effects. So basically, why would you pay for this game? Sorry, did I say game? I mean toy, because that's what it is. It's a toy. It's almost like I suppose you could consider it a walk in a Zen garden. It's a meditation, if you will, on life, death, what it means to be alive, what it means to look around and experience the world. Some of them might be difficult to understand, particularly when you find yourself flying or floating off the ground, because that means the game is about to end. And so people who are looking for a challenge are going to be disappointed. People who are looking for a crafting experience, forget it. Monster combat, forget it. But an interesting and atmospheric journey through a musical world. Well, this is probably up your alley. I mean, I was quite happy to pay for it, and in those times when I want to play a game but I don't want to play a game, I can always open up Proteus and click on the island and see what I've run into this time. So I'm dead certain that there are things I saw in this playthrough which you haven't seen that I've never seen before. And for all I know, they're adding more stuff to it as we speak. But of course, this island is receding in the distance and I'll never see it again. because, winter has come, land is dead and cold, and soon my avatar will be soon. It's worth looking at if you're into this sort of thing. More of an art project than a game. I like it. No Man's Sky is a strange game. Many say that there isn't much game there at all, yet I can load this up, have it running, and look up to see that 2 hours have passed. Not sure how that happens unless I'm getting really immersed or getting hell-bent on actually getting somewhere. You start off the game next to your ship, which is actually damaged and needs to be repaired. Your ship has 3 different motors, one for taking off, one for flying between the planets in the star system, and a special motor for traveling between star systems, all of which need to be fueled from 3 different sources. How you do this is actually pretty simple. You have a special gun which you can upgrade to allow you defense against some of the more hostile creatures around, and also you use it as a mining tool because it also sucks up all the good bits like some kind of magical space vacuum cleaner. So you run around, you explore for interesting locations which show up on your HUD. There are creatures to learn the languages of and trade with. Then the mysterious Eccles, whatever the heck that is, which seems to be leading you towards what's supposed to be the center of the galaxy or the universe. I mean, it's a sci-fi game, so it uses the 2 terms interchangeably, like they do. Now, my system is 8 years old, so Hello Games always warns me 3 times before it starts. You haven't got enough processor power, you haven't got enough memory, you haven't got enough video card power. But it runs anyway. It runs slowly, but it runs, and it runs enough for me to get into trouble. I've already been killed about 3 or 4 times, and I'm onto my 4th star system at the moment. So pretty soon, hopefully, I will learn how to make an Atlas pass, which apparently you need to open special doors. Hopefully there's something useful in them. And I might just keep on. It's also one of those games that has a slight problem with it. The problem is quite simply that you have an open universe to explore as you see fit, and B, you have this pressure to reach the center of the universe. Now, I've mentioned this before. I have this tension going on in my head between the demands of the open world to go out and explore, go wherever you please, search for jungles, search for deserts, search for whatever, or just plain search for resources in the most pragmatic fashion, and a linear main quest where you have to go from point A to point B to point C, and it's constantly reminding you of that, which is a bit annoying because when it comes to points, waypoints on the planet are almost impossible to, well, you can find interesting places on a planet, but it doesn't store them at the moment or allow you to mark them and go back to them, which actually rocks me off enormously. Because there's some places in some star systems that I would like to return to, because now I've got the opportunity to open them up again, or I happen to know that there's some good stuff there. Also, the compass doesn't, particularly on the planet, doesn't mark north, south, east or west, and it'd be nice if it would do that. Yet, at the same time, I don't feel that I've wasted my money on this game. No Man's Sky might not be much of a game, but I'm actually enjoying it when I'm playing it. I mean, I've even broken the game once, or the game broke itself with a crack in the world which I was able to fall through. It was actually rather amusing, and also actually rather humbling to watch the surface disappear up into the distance as I fell through to the liquid center of an apparently hollow earth. In any case, I mean, if you like that kind of space exploration, dogfights, yes, you get dogfights, building bases, and it's quite a bit of fun stuff you can or cannot do. Just don't let the Sentinels catch you mining. They tend to be offended by, you just trying to survive or refuel your ship so you can take off again. And, of course, keep an eye out for the more hostile critters, won't you? Speaking of hostile critters, it's about time I talk about Minecraft, eh? Liyxland is not just disconnected, it's gone. There might be a saved copy, but the last great gasp of the old Noirland spirit is pretty much, well, it hasn't quite given up the ghost, but in its original incarnation, it has. Noirland had some very clever ideas regarding territory and how to claim it and how to preserve it, how to handle player versus player. And, well, I didn't bother signing up for the last gasp event or whatever. Heaven only knows what happened. No doubt there's photos around. But we've been moving on since then. So this is me looking at the remnants of my old home before going up to look at the remnants of my new home. For some reason I decided that the best thing to do was to set things up so that it looked like it was partly looted, partly ruined. You get the idea. Actually, it was rather fun. So, climbing up the old tower in the jungle that I built over the top of my little hole in the ground. And that's what I built afterwards. A little place in the middle of a lake. Originally I was going to build a beaver dam, but I never got around to that. I got caught up in other things, like Sleepy Hollows. Now, if you're wondering why this Enderman is looking very upset with me, it's because I looked at him while running around Sleepy Hollows in the middle of the night, which you might have noticed is made almost entirely of jack-o'-lanterns. Not that it matters very much. It's gone now. Dead. Oh, is something there? I wouldn't know. Gotta be careful, you know. Here we go. Violence. And of course I've lost, so the Lix going down, I've lost the Lix bow that I got. Wonderful. I think it had infinity and burning and all sorts of other cool stuff on it. But I've just about had enough, I think, of this. I'm out of here. Rather, I'm in of here. Because I ordered a spot in Sleepy Hollows and set up an Uncle Pukey's. You probably couldn't see the sign on the door, but that's too bad. So basically made it as a restaurant where I could port my goods. Oh, good grief, I've got a lot of... Almost completely overwhelmed. Oh, almost completely stuffed. In case I built kitchens and an office, and going up here, there was a little wheat field. Tried to have pumpkins, but that didn't work. But anyhow, this is all gone. Not that it matters. I recently first moved on to Dirty Ores server, but I haven't spent as much time on it as I could have, which is probably a bit too bad. But in any case, I've reached, there's something I'm worried about, the peak comfort Minecraft, where I don't feel like I want to progress any further. I mean, I've got my potion stand, I've got plenty of food, plenty of crops, plenty of animals. Haven't been doing very much in the place at all. And I've also got a diving board. But what I've been doing since I won the build competition all those months ago is, apart from installing shaders sod all, doesn't Minecraft look lovely with shaders on? Well, I actually purchased another claim block and am going to fence off this valley area here and release all my animals into it. Or more likely, I'm going to slaughter most of my animals and fence in a few wild ones like horses and sheep and pigs and things. What I've got to really do is fence off as many of the open caverns. You can see just saw the claim block in the corner there. There it is. That emerald block that acts as a claim block, so basically I own this space along with a whole lot of others. It's a clever way of handling it, actually. Though to be perfectly honest, I'm not fond of using the emerald blocks, but although it does give people an excuse to hurtle out into the extreme hills biome, and yeah, I've got a lot of that to do. Oh, hello XP orb floating in the middle of the wilderness. But I've been spending a lot more time on the new kid on the block, BlockPunch. which has been set up by several of the old Liyxland mob. Now the conceit is that it's made out of hexagons, which contain chunks out of other game worlds, or are supposed to. So I basically built my house in the side of one of these hexagons. Managed to make it grow, punched a few bits of tree in order to get saplings so I could grow more trees. Very useful, especially downstairs where there's a huge abyss. Enormous, I call it the void, and it's caused me some thrills and excitement. I'm thinking at the moment what I'm going to do is grow some pumpkins, make some jack-o'-lanterns, and put them in this tree-ish area. Because, I mean, it's nice to... you might have seen I had a sort of little peephole bunker sort of thing. But there's actually a lot of... and this is a decent amount of animals out there, but I don't want to break up the place by having obvious gardens. I mean, I've got a bit of garden down at the water's edge, but I'm not particularly fond of that. I mean, besides, I don't want to chop all this up. Look how lovely it is. It's a bit of flower forest. I like flower forest. I also like jungle too. That's what we need to do, create flower jungle. And in the distance you can see these huge andesite monoliths, or pillars, or whatever you call it, in a sea of wheat. You don't starve here in BlockPunch unless you're really, really stupid. I mean, you probably end up dead, but because there's lots of monsters running around, or dead because you ran away from a monster and fell off a cliff. There's lots of cliffs in BlockPunch, but you won't starve. If you're really desperate, you just punch one of them hay bales, or pick some crops. Be sure to, but of course don't be a vegetable, replant, please. Although I can't help noticing that there's no actual water source for these bits of ploughed ground. And it's probably a good idea actually to make sure that you follow the Minecraft rules. I mean, everything here has been literally hand carved. I think there's very little on the surface that isn't handmade, such as where we're going. We don't need random terrain generation. See, there's a building up there. That was there before I came. It's obviously been made by someone who's been working in MC Edit or some other similar. But I just love what they've done with glass and metal mesh. Looks kind of neat. Anyway, we keep going. You can see the huge stone and clay cliffs up there, which actually look quite nice. They could do with a bit of variation, but look at that ship. Look at that ship. Ain't that marvellous? It looks like it's about to set sail for the Eastern Lands or adventure. What are the Eastern Lands? Well, you'd have to join the BlockPunch group on Facebook, wouldn't you? You can tell this is supposed to be a very busy port, though nobody's there right now. Now, you might have noticed also that I've been putting little purple boxes with the titles, artists, and even albums of, well, I know the albums of tracks that I've picked up. In fact, I picked up a couple for this segment just tonight off freemusicarchive.org, and I just found out that this track in the background by Pausel off his 2010 album Lapses, or hers, I don't know, I don't care. It was off last.fm. Hope you were paying attention to that. And if you don't, well, there's always Google search, isn't there? That's how I found out where I got Pausel from. I just love the amount of details being thrown into this. Can you imagine trying to make something like this in creative? I mean, not creative, survival, or even hardcore. It's actually something I was thinking of doing some recordings of my game in hardcore. I've given myself a goal in hardcore of visiting a dark woodland mansion, which I haven't found yet because I've got sidetracked. I've actually found a very nice mushroom biome, not 2 days travel by land and sea from my start point, which is pretty kind of cool. One of the things I intended doing was building one shelter about half a day to a full day's travel away from the last one. I think we're heading north, if I remember correctly, so we're obviously in the cargo deck. All splendidly good fun. You can see people having fun with PvP. I don't go in for PvP very much. Oh, I wish I started my Liyxland special bow. What's supposed to be the bed chambers? Nothing in that chest. Lots of stuff in that chest. I think somebody's been residing here. Who knows? Probably not a good idea to touch it. It's probably somebody's stuff. Anyway, this is actually quite spectacular, and there's bound to be more interesting stuff. So maybe one of the things I need to do in BlockPunch is not hunker down and muck about. I mean, the last big construction project that I did, as a matter of fact, was I actually built a tunnel between two bodies of water, thinking that I was tunneling from one to the other. I'll have to show it to you, actually. I can't remember what I was about to say then. What's this? Where's this go? Boink! Oh, it's the bilges. I mean, this is one of the first big bills that I've found in BlockPunch so far. There's bound to be more interesting stuff here. Other than that, I mean, we'll probably revisit BlockPunch when I've decided what it is I'm doing. I probably will work on those jack-o'-lanterns and make more cool stuff. Well, not so much cool stuff, but lighting stuff. Oh, I can't go up to the crow's nest. What a bummer. Still is a pity, because there's some lovely views, and you can see them. Just look at that. Ain't that something? We'll see what else we can find in BlockPunch for these videos, eh? But I think this is enough, and I'll call this the end.